Click on this wonderful sunny day, starting lighting our chalice, setting our intent for our practice today. Taking a moment to do that as our fire burns bright. And our reading today comes, as so often, from 365 Tao. And this is actually for our day today and is uncannily appropriate. Fire cools, water seeks its own level. No matter how extreme a situation is, it will change. It cannot continue forever. Thus, a great forest fire is always destined to burn itself out. A turbulent sea will become calmer. Natural events balance themselves out by seeking their opposites. And this process of balancing is at the heart of all healing. This process takes time. If an event is not too great, the balance required is slight. If it is momentous, then it may take days, years, and even lifetimes for things to return to an even keel. Actually, without these slight imbalances, there could be no movement in life. It is being off balance that keeps life changing. Total centering, total balance would only be stasis. All life is continual destruction and healing over and over again. That is why, even in the midst of an extreme situation, the wise are patient. Whether the situation is illness, calamity, or their own anger, they know that healing will follow the upheaval. Feels encouraging. Find your place, whether it's standing up in however deep of a stance as you choose, or if you would like to be seated. And we begin first with our hands, our feet, or our tailbones down to the earth, palms, energy centers there, down to the earth, crown aligned to the sky. Just taking 3 breaths to truly arrive to this position, this here, this now. And we begin with our first set, which is the clearing, with our hands rising up to our sides, palms flipping at shoulder height, coming up above your head, holding the energy ball there, and then palms facing down as they press down in front of you. Breathing in as you gather, stream, breathing out. And our intent here is to gather the energy of the earth, of the water, of the yin from below, the air and the light from above. And this energy ball is pressing out all the old, all the stagnant, and replenishing your system with new and fresh. About 9 more. The first 3 quite physical. Next 3 more attention to breath. Last 3, let it go and let it flow. And then as you finish one movement, when you're down at the bottom, very intentionally sweep up and release and replenish as much as you can. Movements done in your own time, hands coming to rest towards the ground. Take a few mindful breaths, still in the pause where so much happens when there's not outward movement. Next simple movement is shoulder rolls. Start by drawing your shoulders far to the back, bringing them up, and then over and down to the front with your palms circulating as the water wheel. Breathing in on the way up, out on the way down. Sensing perhaps energy rising up your backbone, cresting over your head, and flowing down your front. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. Breathing in and out through the nose. Movement going as slow or as fast as your gentle, natural breath is. A full breath, but only to 80%. The breath breathing you for the last 3, perhaps very slow. Silken breath streaming in and out. Last rotation. And hands resting below. Still outside, sensing perhaps the water wheel still turning within. Giving it time to settle. And now reversing it, shoulders forward, drawing them up, stretching, pressing as you press down. Breathing in as you circle forward and out as it drops down. Water here flowing up from the earth, up your front, over your crown, flowing down your backbone. The microcosmic orbit, the water wheel. One more turning. Coming to still. Secure foundation. Feeling our water points in our feet solidly on the earth or our tailbone there. Now going to concentrating that energy. Here to the left hand above, the right, energy points between your two palms, holding the energy ball. Dropping first down and moving to the right, then rising up on the right side before turning to go over to the left. Breathing out as you drop down and in as you rise up, at least to start with. Our intention here is to concentrate the energy around the lower energy center that is below our belly button, a little bit towards the middle of our bodies. Feeling perhaps heat, connection between your hands, gaining, centering, grounding, strengthening your foundation within. One more revolution, fully around, and this time letting your hands come to point towards your belly. Even if you feel nothing in your hands, something is happening. Nourishing yourself from the natural, universal energy you have concentrated. This is borderline an intersection of a variation on how to give Reiki to yourself without the symbols, knowing it's universal energy, as well as an idea of how people who get fidgety hands when they're meditating, do this for your 5, 10, 15 minutes. Moving into our next set, which is between heaven and earth, as it is called in the Qigong. Left, which can be considered the more yin, down to the earth. Right, which can be considered the more yang, above your crown, palm facing up to the sky. And here the left is rising up close to your front yin side, as your right is sweeping down a little bit further out, meeting at your heart, where the top starts to flip to come above your head as the other goes down below. And stretch and look up. Breathing in as you're bringing yin from below, yang from above, meeting at the middle heart energy center, and starting to exhale. And resting a moment here to feel yourself fully connected above and below. Streaming those energies now, circulating, integrating, balancing, harmonizing. One last full rise and fall. What goes up comes down. Let your above hand gently flow like water to the lowest point. Humble water, seeking to pool, to be one below. Going now to the classic Tai Chi movement, starting here to the left. You can do this one either very contained, sweeping past your forehead, your upper energy center, and your lower energy center, meeting as you turn far to the right, or you can really sweep deep, which sometimes is easier if you're standing up. The breathing is going to maximum in to the right, halfway out here, you're balanced until you're fully empty to the left. Flowing, integrating right and left, masculine and feminine, as well as above and below. Ultimately, this is spherical. This is in front and behind, and you are in the center. Hinging from your Ming Men gate of vitality in your low back, pumping energy, vitalized, even as you let go into the flow. One last full revolution. Coming back, and from here again, letting our hands now rest towards our bellies, our lower energy center. This is our middle point. If you think of our whole body, feet rooted deep into the earth below, head open to the sky above. For that sense of us, this is our center. Moving now to our medical Qigong movement, working with our spleen, pancreas point, about one hand breadth under our arm, right where our little pinky reaches. This we open by raising our hands here to the side and then shooting them forward and out. Bring our hands in towards our breastbone and then shoot them out. Open wide, wide. And then bring your palms in towards your lower energy center. We breathe in, and the sound of this is breathe in and exhale with breathe in. Our intent is all of our bodily pains, all of our mindful worries and cares, let go. Bring in the centering energy of earth and release that which is excess in us. Gather the abundance of earth, golden color, warm, abundant, and bring that nourishing, peaceful energy to your belly. And then one more. When you come to the point where you're exhaling out, release all you can here, all that is ready to be let go of. Intentional energy in, conscious release of the old, that which no longer serves. Welcome Mother Earth's abundance and strengthen and center yourself in your center. Streaming that into your belly. Now moving on to water medical QiGong, where we start with our hands out, relax the shoulders. After all these years, I still have to consciously drop my shoulders. Draw your hands into your sides, armpits press down. From here, circling behind you, sweeping behind your kidneys and coming out, hands flipping and pressing straight out. This is an uneven breath. Breathing in to armpits, in, down to the earth, in as you circulate behind by your kidneys. And first now, shwee is the sound. Our sense is these oceans of energy sweeping down, clearing, accessing all of that purifying water, cleansing our kidneys, and knowing there is no bad, negative energy. There is only energy that has been stagnant within us. When we release it here to the universal oceans, it's there to be recycled, to be used as pure energy. as we choose to intend it. And on your last one, very conscious intent, cleanse, purify, release. Letting the hands float down to feel like they're floating on that universal ocean of water, purifying, healing water. We are now going to take our hands and sweep them out back and around, gathering that water, bringing our hands to rest on our kidneys before we sweep down and release. Breathing in, resting a moment, streaming that energy into your kidneys, and then releasing. And our intent here is to gather water energy and to know it is here. We store fear, we store shame. Release. On your last one, invoking those healing waters, bringing them. Letting go of fear. Hands resting here on what we often call our cauldron. Our waters contained here, gathered, stored. The heat of our hands doing the alchemical work we often do here. Today, just being here. Before we go to our final closing movement, where our hands sweep down to the earth, gathering up yin, gently letting that rise up through us, hands flipping at the heart, starting to point up, palms above, look above, welcome dynamic yang as our hands come down to the sides. And here we're breathing in as we gather nourishment up our tender, vulnerable fronts, opening to above as we breathe out, bringing in more protective energies to our boundaries on the sides, and even realizing this is a full bubble around us. Even as we breathe out, it's balanced yin and yang that is filling the bubble, not just to the side, but to the front, the back, and well below us, well above us, filled with earth, water, air, and fire in just what we need. And wherever you are on your penultimate movement, when you come down to the bottom, rest there so we can do the final closing together. Many seeming singular bodies, one human being. Let us gather up from the earth, draw it through our bodies, our being. Let us open up to the above and sweep. And as we breathe out, feel it, hear it, sense it. This time, let your right hand cross over your left, sealing in front of you. Feel it sealed behind you. Hands coming to the sides, resting at your waist, rising up to your heart fire, and bringing that fire down through the waters, down into the earth. Exhale, release, be empty a moment here, align, breathe in as you draw in that energy through your central column, hands shooting up over your crown. Exhale, release. Be empty a moment, align to space and light above. And as you inhale, rain that down until your hands are resting. Alrighty. I think actually today I would like to go, instead of doing the Tao Yoga, to hold it here and to ask you to settle in to your meditation position, whether that's sitting with feet on the ground or finding something to bring your hips raised a little bit up, perhaps placing one foot above the other. If you want, having a cushion in your lap, perhaps having cushions under your knees to support. Ultimately, it's not the position, it's that you're relaxed in it. Oh dear. Sorry. Alrighty, coming to our positions here for our closing meditation. Settle in. And today we are going to use our imagination to find and grow a sanctuary place for us. A place where we can go when we need solace, solitude, serenity. Taking your left hand and placing your middle finger, if it's comfortable, on your belly button, taking your pointing finger and your middle finger and placing them on your third eye. Drawing your third eye up and opening yourself to feeling the energy from the depths of your being rise up through your heart to your intuitive knowing here. 3 breaths. Welcome, intuition. Welcome, imagination. Let that hand now drop down to whatever position feels comfortable for you. Imagine now a space arising before you for just what you need for this moment. And if something is not spontaneously coming, or to refine what perhaps known nature place, known safe inside space is, to bring greater awareness to it. Note the light in this imaginal space. What time of day is it? What time of year is it? Feel the air. Is the season clear? Are there winds? Are there sounds? Paying more attention to the ground around you. Noting the details of the terrain. If it's nature, or perhaps you have already found yourself into a dwelling place. Make yourself comfortable. Does a chair need to arise? A nest? A bed to curl up in? Snuggle in. Maybe a shawl needs to manifest to be wrapped around you. Or maybe poof, a piping hot cup of soothing tea. This is a magical place. How are you feeling? Touch in to what needs to be soothed. Open up to the littlest changing of your position, to literally, as you're sitting here in your body, get more comfortable. Sink in. This isn't really a meditation with a rounded back. Maybe this is where a guy just really needs to curl up. Maybe we're rocking. Who knows? Let your actual physical body do it. Even as we're still in touch with our imaginal space. And final invitation is there any being that perhaps would be welcome in here for you today? Animal, angel, ancestor, who knows? Or perhaps you really want and need and welcome to sit in solitude. Just a moment more here. Whether you're in meditative, mindfulness, silent, or if a message comes to you. And now 3 conscious breaths before we close, thanking the spirit world such as it has been here for us today, the magic, thanking our breath, which is always with us. And thanking our bodies and our beingness. Opening your eyes now, gently coming back to the here and now. Thanking yourself, thanking all the others, live in our circle today, holding our arms out, including our communities, known and unknown, allowing them to ever expand, ever more open, diverse, and inclusive. This is where some of us have to wink out and on, and we turn our recording off before we go to our sacred sharing or on to our days.